Tool. Last time we got an album was back on May 2nd, 2006. 13 years. If you do the math, it's 4,868 days. Think about it. 13 years ago, where were you at? Think about how much older you are now instead of, now being 2019. Yeah, Tool. We're talking about Tool actually. Tool's Fear Inoculum dropped last Friday. I've got the chance to listen to this a handful of times. This is an album that's been probably the most anticipated album of the decade, for sure, and there's good reason. Tool's a band that's been able to really, they've been able to really satisfy the masses over the years, with Ladder Alice probably being termed their masterpiece. Well, the Fear Inoculum become the new masterpiece. Well, let's get things out of the way first. This is if you're talking about the physical copy of this album, it's 79 minutes and 10 seconds, which makes it their longest running album. The digital version is 86.5 minutes. Digital version is 10 tracks, physical 7. Digital version, the only difference is there's 3 short tracks. I'm just going to sum those up very quickly. They're like nice little quick transitions that are really rather interesting. Now, I do have information to read about the album right here to tell you guys about before I get into the album review. So, obviously 7 main tracks in the album, just short of 80 minutes, which is the maximum runtime of CDs. The digital version contains 3 short interlude tracks stemming from Danny Carey's scrap plan to have the album be entirely one long song. And so, Jones and Carey described the songs as lengthy but containing multiple movements within each track. The concept of 7 is a recurring theme of the album both musically and conceptually. We'll touch base more on this. Chancellor and Jones wrote guitar riffs and unusual time signatures related to the number 7, while Keenan introduced ideas related to 7 as well. Future music videos will also cover this theme, which is quite cool. The album also explores the concept of growing older and wiser. Keenan explained that the album covers the idea of embracing where we are at right now, acknowledging where we've come from and some of the things we've gone through. Keenan also advised that patience and multiple listens were required in understanding the album, comparing it to a slowly developing movie. I definitely agree with this. Jones described it as a very different album from their prior album, 10,000 Days. Music critics and journalists have described the album as progressive rock, progressive metal, and alternative metal. So, with the 3 little short tracks out of the way, let's get into the main set of the album. The first track we get into is the first single we got back in early August, Fear Inoculum, self-titled. This is a 10.5 minute song. Starts off with, or should I say, throughout the album, it kind of has a theme of a Middle Eastern kind of vibe. There's sitars in this, unusual for Tool. I wouldn't say unusual. Tool's been always a band that's kind of been utilizing strange things in their career. Just look back at albums such as Anima and Ladder Alice, but they use a sitar at one point in this song. I like how the album kind of starts very slow. Mayor James Keenan really is like touching your emotions already. He's already kind of just really slowly guiding you into the song. Seems like everything really slowly builds up. At the halfway mark, around near the 5-minute mark, the little drumming transition, it sounds like the opening to Reflection. I'm not even joking, it actually really sounds like it. I really like this song, by the way, it's off Ladder Alice. But after that point, basically things kind of continue to pick up in intensity, and towards the 9-minute mark or so, we have some heavy riffs being played, simple riffs, just like dun, 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 something like that. But it's just, I like how this song builds up. It's a great start to the album. Things slowly build up. I don't get why people don't like this track. I don't get why people don't like the album. It's like they heard the song, they're like, oh, there's no new tricks or whatever. You have to listen to it a little bit more than just one time. The next track is Numa. This is over 11 minutes. I like how the song starts. It starts very gently. Once again, this time with some simpler guitar notes. Just kind of guiding your way into the song. I really like how the song stays gentle throughout. I really like the pacing. You can already tell that Tool's been one band that's been always a master of pacing. It seems like they are already at this point a Hall of Fame in pacing with music. I like the rhythm. Just once again, just kind of in a rather unusual time signature. Tool's done unusual time signatures, but this is already showcasing that hey, they can do it, right? But Numa really just kind of guides you. Like you're just kind of walking on a long walk. I don't know how to explain it. I really like it. Numa's a good song. I definitely recommend it. Numa's is a track that just, I think it's just an endless kind of song, it seems like. I like it. It's a great song. Nice percussiveness, nice percussive background, great clean guitar, just great guitar tone overall. The bass obviously prominent. Keenan's vocals are just swift and kind of sounds hollow at times, just makes you chills. We get to Invincible. This was actually one of two tracks off this album that were actually performed way before the album even came out. Invincible starts off with a little bit of a quicker pace, actually. Kind of same with Numa, the simpler kind of like the lighter guitar playing. But in this case, it kind of gets you a little bit more captivating. I'm not trying to say the intro to Numa was not captivating, but I'm saying this is now, it's kind of getting you a little bit like, oh, it sounds like something's going to come early on. But once again, Tool's like, hey, be patient. We got something for you towards the latter part of the song. Invincible is really, one just really picks up in intensity slowly. You know this with already the first two songs, the three songs, that they're just slow build-ups, which is cool. Hey, why not have some of that? But Invincible I really like where, once again, the guitar tone is really great. And the percussive background, Danny Carey, their ideas together with, or should I say, just all of them, all their ideas coming together, really made things into like a rare specimen of a song like this. I like how the song starts to, like I said, pick up intensity around the halfway point. We start to things kind of slightly slow down, but it's kind of a like that, and it's just really, cool. Kind of like it sounds like a little bit of a tribal effect going on here. It kind of sounds. I don't really necessarily believe it sounds like any of their previous albums. It sounds like it's kind of its own thing at the moment. Yeah, you kind of had some hints of Lateralis and 10,000 Days slightly, maybe Anima at times. Not their first album just yet. But Invincible really kind of gets on a, and I like, it's just, the groove is great. I love it. Towards the 10-minute mark or so, the song kind of abruptly kind of pauses, and then it just goes back to the same tempo they were at, like around the 3-4 minute mark. I like that, how they kind of trick you like that. Nice surprise there. But Invincible, great, near 13-minute track. The next song is Descending. This was the other song that was played live. This is 13 and a half minutes. I really love how the title really speaks for itself, Descending. It really sounds like you're kind of in a dream and you're descending into something, whether that be some black hole or something, or just some kind of mysterious portal. I don't know. It's a rather long portal because of it being 13 plus minutes. I really like how the song just goes. I really love the bass tone with this one. I really like just once again, the percussive background. Like, these guys really, to me, I'm noticing that their sound has really matured. Not saying that their previous material hasn't matured. It's just when you get older, you just kind of have a wiser sense. As I read, it's kind of there's a concept of growing older and being older and wiser. And it's really showing, especially a track like this. Once again, the jamming with this one is really cool. It's a good jammer, just like Invincible. Descending and Invincible have these moments of just these little nice sections of a jam. It's just really cool. Descending, I like towards the 10-minute mark how it just kind of, once again, kind of sounds like a tribal effect. Just really, Soul's just able to just make you pop your head, make things really flow well. It doesn't feel awkward, doesn't feel strange. It just feels natural. It just all comes naturally. That's another great thing about this as well. Descending may have an aspect of 10,000 Days a little bit, around the 10-minute mark, but yeah, I don't know. Descending's a hell of a song. Ends with about the same as it starts, kind of an ambient sound of a wave, maybe. we get into calling voices. Things get a little interesting with this track. It seems like the things are kind of hollow. It's like things are a little more ambient, not in a bright ambient, more of a dark ambient kind of style. It's like things are gleaming, just kind of how it was with when I was talking about with, I believe it was, I don't remember anymore. It's just these tracks are long and there's just so much, you know, to really take into play. It's hard to discuss an album like this because you really have a lot to think about with an album like this already. We're like of the 7 main tracks in, now we're at the 5th one. Calling Voices reminds me kind of, you know, it sounds a little bit like they could throw it in Enema, sort of. It sounds like a 90s Tool song, almost. Which isn't bad. I like how they kind of make you feel like you're kind of sitting in the 90s. Once the halfway mark goes, it kind of gets a little bit more heavier. Slightly, they kind of up the ante a little bit. It's just things stay smooth. I really love how things stay smooth through the album so far. They don't force things. They really don't. Like, you can just tell they just make things go. Like, with the sense of being more mature, they just kind of let it go through a more mature Tool. Calling Voices, though, not a bad track. This was one track that it seems like to me there could have been just slightly more to it, a little bit maybe, but maybe I'm being nitpicky at the same time. Chocolate Chip Trip is the instrumental, the near 5-minute instrumental. I'm going to be honest, this was a very strange song the first time I heard it, but then the more times I heard it, it's like, oh wow, very cool with how they did this. Very trippy, acidy kind of acid trip, an acid trip being like space rock kind of, just spacey kind of instrumental. Denny Carey shows his percussive skills and it just really, it all comes naturally, like I said once again, like with the synth kind of sounds and then his drumming just kind of all make it sound like you're on an acid trip or something, or you're on shrooms, or you're really high off something. It's just one of those things. And Chocolate Trip's probably the illusion of what you probably imagined while you were on that trip, and you're like, oh yeah, I probably was imagining being a chocolate chip or something. I have no idea. I couldn't really unravel the enigma on this one, but let's get to the final song, the 15-minute behemoth, near 16-minute song, Tempest. Good lord, this song really has a lot going on to it. Let's just start things off with the fact that it starts off kind of with a quicker pace like Invincible does, with the nice clean guitar tone of the simpler notes. Then it gets into an undertow style. Yeah, this is where undertow comes into play. I really feel undertow heavy vibe with this section right here, where it kind of launches into a strong section right here. This was cool. This was an awesome heavy jam right at this point. Keaton coming in with full force too. Just everyone really launching together. And it's really cool. The force is there. It's just really it's fun. Tempest really starts off kind of fast. It kind of slows down a little bit. Doesn't really lose speed. I like the soloing on this one. The middle part of the song is really cool. It's like the boys just said, you know, hey, you know, we're gonna add a lot to it. You know, they really expanded with form with this one. Each song had an expansion of form, obviously, and this one really showcased multiple movements. You can really tell. The form expanding on this one was really cool. How they were able to really handle it and how they were able to present us with it, with all the stuff inside of it, it's just really awesome. Tempest really proved, the middle part of the song, like I said, the soloing, really cool. Just, it's awesome. I don't know what other words I can use. It's very fantastic, it's amazing, articulate, playing going on. I love it. The technicality is there. Great stuff. Great mix of articulation, technicality. Oh man, Tempest and then there's just the fast riffing, like the fast riffing and stuff, and the fast percussive playing, just making it, getting more heavier with it. You know, really having a heavy early Tool vibe or sound. It's really cool. My God, this was awesome. Just really touching base on that alternative metal realm, you know, and it really is cool. Just more of a it's just reaching that. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm losing words at this point. But Tempest really showcased that Tool has the ability to write just amazing songs, just like with every single song on the album. So, what does Tool get? Was this worth the 13-year wait? Did this beat the score of Devin Townsend's and Path? Well, let's answer the first question of two. Yes, it was worth the 13-year wait. I think Tool absolutely dominated with this record. There are people that say it's boring because some BS. Do they even know what they're talking about? Probably not. I mean, my answer would be just I think you should probably pay more attention to listening to it. Maybe you're not picking up on something. I don't know, but number two, did it beat Devin Townsend's and Path? Right now, the answer is yes, and I mean barely. Tool's Fear Inoculum. This is getting, so far this year, is the highest scoring of the year, 96 out of 100. Near perfect. The only complaint I have with this album is that I wish there could have been just a little bit more. I know that sounds a bit of a nitpicky, sounds kind of selfish, but I really feel like there could have been slightly more to this record. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just because I feel like I didn't get enough. As soon as it started, it was quickly as soon as it ended, but there was a lot of great stuff in between. I'm just like, man, I really wanted more. That was it just because it was sounded so cool, that's why. But Tool's Fear Inoculum, highest score of the year so far, definitely front runner of album of the year right now. 96 out of 100. Barely beaten Path by Devin Townsend. This is going to be an interesting ranking of the albums of the year, top albums of the year. Tool really showed to me that they are not a band that should be forgotten about. Same with my dad. We both really love this album. I've done listening to this album probably 7 times already, and I'm probably going to end up listening to it a whole lot more. But I want to thank everyone for watching. This has been a really lengthy video, but there was definitely a lot needed to be talked about. The concept, the tempo of just 7, the rhythm of 7, basically, really was interesting. I really thought that was kind of cool. I really thought that was cool, but at the same time, it kind of made things stuck at times slightly. I don't know, but it just made things feel like things lasted forever, I guess. I mean, hey, there you go. But Tool, Fear Inoculum, great album. Please pick it up if you haven't even listened to this album yet. What are you waiting on? Go pick it up right now. Yeah, it came out a week ago. The next album I will review, I hope it's Slipknot, because I'd like to get that album review over with so I can get on with the other albums I need to review. After that's Killswitch Engage, and I'm thinking about trying to get the Wage War, and then I'm probably going to end up trying to continue going back to the beginning of the year and going down the list. So I'll catch you guys later. Please like and subscribe. If you like this album, please give a comment below on what your thoughts are on the album. Please let me know, and please let me know below. Take care, everyone.